Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to really dig into some powerful ideas from a source that's, well, it's made quite a splash.
It certainly has. We're talking about Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Right? Subtitled A Wealth Mindset Revolution. And, it really has this reputation, doesn't it, as one of the most, maybe, transformative personal finance books out there.
Definitely. It challenges a lot of the conventional thinking about money, that's for sure.
It really does.
And Kiyosaki, he sort of frames his core ideas through his own upbringing, which is quite unique. He talks about having these two very different father figures.
Yeah, the rich dad and the poor dad.
Exactly. So his biological dad, the poor dad, he really pushed the traditional route. Get good grades, find a secure job, save your money diligently.
The path most of us are taught, basically.
Pretty much. But then there was his mentor, the rich dad, who apparently taught him how money really works, often in ways that seemed, well, counterintuitive compared to the standard advice.
Okay, so that contrast is key then.
It's the foundation.
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack this then. Building on that contrast, what's the central, the really big lesson here?
Well, it kind of boils down to this powerful idea.
Hmm.
The rich don't really work for money.
Okay.
They figure out how to make money work for them.
Right. So it's a fundamental shift, isn't it? Away from just trading your time for a salary like the poor dad advised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It moves towards what the rich dad taught.
Oh.
Focus on financial education, yes, but specifically on investing and actively building things, assets that generate income on their own.
Income that keeps coming in, even if you're not directly flocking in hours for it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not just about earning more. It's about how you earn and what you do with that money. For anyone already, familiar with finance, it's a nudge to rethink the whole structure.
It really is.
And what's fascinating here, and honestly sometimes a bit misunderstood, is Kiyosaki's very sharp distinction between assets and liabilities.
Ah, yes, this is a big one in the book.
It is. He's quite blunt about it.
Oh.
An asset, simply put, puts money into your pocket. Really?
It's money.
A liability takes money out of your pocket consistently.
So it's about cash flow, essentially.
It's entirely about cash flow in his definition. And this is where he challenges common thinking, like about your house.
Right. Most people think my house is my biggest asset.
But Kiyosaki asks, well, does it put money in your pocket each month? Or does it cost you money? Mortgage, taxes, insurance, upkeep.
So unless you're renting it out for more than the costs.
It's functioning as a liability, according to him. Same logic applies to maybe a car payment, things like that.
That's a perspective shift.
It really is. And he argues that the whole path to financial freedom, true freedom, comes from relentlessly acquiring actual income-generating assets, things that add to your positive cash flow.
So it's not just about having money, but understanding how money works and making it grow itself.
Understanding money is crucial. That's maybe the core message. Don't just earn it, understand it, and control it.
And what's so powerful about that asset-liability distinction is, well, it changes how you look at almost everything you buy, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It forces you to ask, is this purchase bringing me closer to financial freedom by potentially generating income, or is it just increasing my expenses?
Makes you think twice about that new car, maybe.
Or even the size of the house you buy. It reframes the goal from just accumulating stuff to accumulating income streams.
So instead of just saving, which he's actually a bit critical of.
Yeah, he sees saving alone as risky because of inflation eating away at its value.
Right. So instead of just saving, the focus is on getting assets. What kind of things does he mean?
Well, things like investment real estate that pays you rent, stocks that pay dividends, maybe intellectual property that generates royalties, or building a business that can operate without you having to be there every single minute.
Okay, so moving from active income trading, time for money, to passive income, where your assets do the work.
That's the goal he lays out. Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me personally. He really takes aim at the traditional school system.
Oh, definitely. That's a major theme.
He basically argues that schools fail us when it comes to practical financial skills.
He thinks they focus too much on academic knowledge and preparing people to be good employees, follow instructions, work within a system.
But not necessarily how to build wealth or understand money outside of getting a paycheck?
Exactly. He'd say they teach you how to work for money, but not how to make money work for you.
Huh.
The essential skills for real-world wealth building are often just, missing.
Which, raises a pretty important question then.
Yeah, if school isn't teaching this stuff, where do you learn it?
Right.
And this is where Rich Dad, Poor Dad really encourages readers to be proactive. Take control. It's all about continuous self-education in finance.
So actively learning about investing
Yes, learning about different investment types, understanding risk. Also, exploring entrepreneurship, starting a business, even a small side one.
and understanding things like taxes, maybe?
Mhm.
How the system works?
Absolutely. Seeing things like taxes and debt not just as burdens, but potentially as tools, if you understand the rules, financial literacy becomes your guide.
Instead of just relying on that job.
Right. Becoming your own financial quarterback, so to speak.
And despite these sometimes complex or counterintuitive ideas, the book itself is actually pretty accessible, isn't it?
It really is. That's part of its appeal. It uses that simple, story-driven style of the Two Dads narrative.
Makes it easy to grasp, especially if you're just starting to think differently about money.
Definitely. It's not like a detailed how-to manual. You won't find specific stock picks or complex formulas.
There are no step-by-step plans.
No. Its real power, I think, is in offering, as you said earlier, a new way of thinking. It plants seeds. It shifts your perspective on wealth and how it's built.
So thinking about our listeners, why might this book, these ideas, be relevant to you right now?
Well, if you ever felt kind of stuck, maybe living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, or if you feel maybe a bit too dependent on your job security for your financial future, that's the only option.
Right. Kiyosaki's ideas really challenge that foundation. They offer a potential alternative path, or at least a different way to think about your career and your money long term.
It could be a catalyst for change, maybe?
It definitely aims to be.
Yeah.
I mean, in essence, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more than just reading material. It's really a call to action.
To rethink your whole relationship with money.
Yeah. To think differently, to maybe consider taking some calculated risks, which is often discouraged in traditional advice.
And to really start focusing on building those assets we talked about rather than just chasing a bigger salary.
Exactly. It's about empowering yourself with financial knowledge and starting that journey towards, well, building real wealth.
There's a great quote from Robert Kiyosaki himself that kind of sums it all up nicely. He says, "It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you keep."
That hits the nail on the head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's about building that asset base that generates income and retains value.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Maybe take a moment to consider how your own understanding of assets versus liabilities, Kiyosaki's definition, might change how you look at your spending.
Yeah, how might it change your savings habits or even your investment choices?
And think about this. What could making money work for you actually look like in your own life? Even starting small, what's one step you could take towards acquiring an asset that generates income?
It's definitely food for thought, a different lens to view your financial world through.